It's week 15 and the fantasy playoffs are here. The first round. And I'm here to ease your mind about some playoff options and some guys to have on your radar for the next 3 weeks. These are going to be the most important 3 weeks of our fantasy lives. So let's get right into the episode. Now, Baker Mayfield in the first round of the playoffs might be a scary play, but I'm just hoping that Baker Mayfield remains a solid QB1 when going against this Chargers defense in the first round, but his playoff schedule does ease up and open up with the Dallas Cowboys and the Panthers in that second and third round. The championship round against the Panthers is so sweet to me. Two defenses that are allowing top 10 fantasy points per game to the position. I understand the Cowboys secondary is back and whole, but man, they are not going to be as disruptive without Overshown out there with Micah Parsons. So Baker Mayfield is chasing legacy with Mike Evans less than 500 yards away from 1,000. So I'm hoping that he could go out there this week in the first round if you don't have any other options, just to give us a decent floor between 15 and 18 fantasy points. Next up, I got Jakobi Meyers. Look at his next 3 weeks. The fantasy playoffs are going to be gold if you have Jakobi Meyers as your flex option. He remains a guy that's going to get solid target share. Only 2 games this season where he has less than a 20% target share. And one of those games, it was kind of like one of those rarities where he didn't really see a lot of targets or make such an impact. And the other one, that's because Devontae Adams was still a Raider. So I'm looking at him remaining a solid 20 to 25% target share with a low-end wide receiver 2 floor, where I think that is juicy enough to have him in the next 3 weeks against the Falcons, who are allowing a ton of touchdowns. They got the Jaguars in the second round and then the Saints in the championship round. It lines up perfectly for Jakobi Meyers to be a flex option with some high ceilings on the board. Next, I got Justin Herbert. Now, I know a lot of fantasy managers have him on the roster. He's not an option on the waiver wire, but I'm here to ease your mind that you can rely on him in the playoffs. Ladd McConkey should be on his way back to the field. He was limited this week. I know Will Dissly is out of the way. J.K. Dobbins, the running game has taken a hit, but overall, Justin Herbert is taking care of the football, not getting no turnaways. I mean, look, hasn't thrown an interception since week 2, and even with you have a Quentin Johnson not being consistent, Josh Palmer showing flashes, you still have that reliability that Justin Herbert's going to find a way. He has been sneaky mobile in the last couple of weeks, by the way, so you're looking at some upside on the ground as well. So with Ladd McConkey trending back towards the field, this is great news to get one of his most reliable and best weapons on the offense, where Justin Herbert can be looked to if you're in a tight spot and have no other pivot options. Next up, real simple, man. I lost Evan Ingram earlier in this week. Juwan Johnson was out there living and breathing on the waiver wire for me. He's rostered in less than 23% of leagues, so you can go out there and pivot to him if you're in a tight spot and you're looking for a tight end right now that's going to be seeing some heavy volume. Since Taysom Hill has been out with his injury, there needed to be another guy to step up in this offense. Juwan Johnson has led this Saints team in targets in back-to-back games, so you're looking at an option out there living and breathing on the waiver wire with some juicy matchups. You got the Washington Commanders, where we're banking on just pure volume, just stepping up and making some type of effort in that offense. The Packers have allowed some really unsung hero tight ends out there put up double-digit points. Like I'm talking Brenton Strange and Colby Parkinson, double-digit fantasy points. So they're a favorable matchup in that second round. And then you finish off with the Raiders, where we honestly know they're not playing for nothing. They have allowed a lot of tight end production in the last couple of weeks. So therefore, you have to look at him as a valuable option for the playoffs. Next up, I got the Atlanta Falcons DST as a valuable option out there for you. We're around the time in the playoffs. I've seen it for myself in these comments that somebody has 4 DST teams on one roster, people, in the playoffs. Insane. This is what you call cornering the market, and I love when fantasy managers play this dirty, by the way. But the Atlanta Falcons are rostered in less than 25% of leagues in those first 2 rounds. They get the Raiders and the Giants. The lack of quarterback play just makes this a juicy matchup, and the sack production has been increasing in these last couple of weeks, even though they're ranked bottom of the table. Look how much pressure and how much sack production they were able to get on Sam Darnold last week. So we're looking at how the Falcons are ascending in the playoffs right now. They're definitely an option you should be going to pick up right now. So that wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your start and sit question, and I'll try to help you all the way up until game time. You guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.